Right, I've been looking at some of the long drive champions of the world, guys like Kyle Berkshire and Joe Miller, and I've found 5 tips that I think we can apply from their swings to ours to help us gain yards. Right,
Yeah.
Now the first thing we're going to do that's slightly different from how we maybe usually tee up the golf ball. Old rule of thumb, you usually want to see about half the golf ball over the crown of the golf club, but these guys usually tee the entire golf ball up above the crown. The reason is they're trying to hit up on the ball. So with the driver, you don't want to be hitting down like you would with an iron, say.
Yeah.
You want to hit up, and that's just going to increase the launch. If we can take some of the spin off that, it's going to launch nice and high, and it's going to carry further. So that's the first thing we're going to do.
Cool. Sounds
Dead
good.
simple, yeah. So
Right.
I've teed it up. I'll go a little bit higher than that. So like full ball over the crown of the club, and that's the first adjustment I'm going to make. Dead simple.
Let's see it.
Now these boys leave absolutely nothing behind, so I'm going to hit this as hard as I can.
Nice.
Good start.
Don't even need a breakfast ball.
No, nice and straight.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Right, so yeah, I'm probably used to teeing it a wee bit low myself, so
Right.
that look a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Right, all the
Yeah,
way.
full ball, yeah.
Right. I probably will need a breakfast ball. It's too early for me.
Not bad. A little bit of a cut.
Launched it, but
So when you usually play with your driver, you draw the ball.
a wee fade at the moment,
We
so
fade, right, but there we go. The second thing we're going to look at is their weight transfer. Now, if you watch Kyle Berkshire on Instagram, some of the things that he does in order to get the weight over onto his right-hand side looks completely uncomfortable. Quite difficult to do, in fact. Even when you practice it on the range, yeah, it's going to take some. I wouldn't try it out in the golf course for starters. I would try it first on the range because it does feel so unusual. But what he tends to do is kind of rock back and forth onto his right and left side, and he's just trying to get the weight over to that right-hand side. The reason being, if you think about if you're going to throw a ball, you tend to move onto that right side and then move onto the left and then throw, and it just gives you a little bit more momentum. So that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to remind himself that that's what he's wanting to do, get the weight onto that right-hand side. So what we're going to do, turn to the top and feel like the weight is all the way over on that right-hand side. I'm going to try the Kyle Berkshire rock. You don't have to,
right. No, I'll give it a go.
because you may fall over.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
So he tends to go right side, back to the left, and then he starts to lift his feet up, and then he takes his swing. So that's what I'm going to try. See if I can do it without toppling over. So left, that way, up with the left foot, up with the right, back. Not too bad.
Piped, not
Yeah.
really straight, but it's
No.
long.
It wouldn't hit a fairway on the county, David.
No. Right, okay, so nice high tee. So you're saying right, left,
That's it.
kind of that. And
So
then,
sometimes he lifts the left foot, but you don't. I would say you don't have to, because that really does feel pretty awkward.
Yeah.
The main thing here is to get the weight over onto that right side. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Nice.
Much better.
Yeah. One thing I've already noticed is we're launching them
Yeah, just
really high.
yeah,
So
just that wee change with the tee, didn't
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's what we're looking to do. Okay. So the third tip. You're going to like this one, David, because I've noticed that you have a slight overswing at times.
Slights. I'm John Daly-esque, for God's sake.
And I'm the same, to be honest. I tend to get to the top of my swing, my wrists break a little bit, and the club goes a little bit past parallel. That's what we're all aiming for, is to try and get the club to parallel. But long drive guys, they swing the golf club as far back as they possibly can.
Wrap it
As
round
far
themselves.
back as they can. I mean, it's John Daly and sometimes. I think
Yeah.
Kyle Berkshire, if you watch him on Instagram, might even be about there. You
I
can
don't-
see
I
the
don't- I
entire
don't think
club.
You can get far enough.
Exactly, yeah. So it takes a lot of flexibility, but that's what we're going to try. So you're probably thinking, oh, overswing, then I sacrifice a little bit of accuracy, but they're not too bothered about that. This is all about gaining yards off the tee. So we're going to swing back as far as we possibly can. Let's see if we get an increase in yardage.
Yeah, it's
Again, nice and
high
high.
and long.
Yeah.
just Not overly straight, but we're
No,
not worried about that
exactly,
today.
yeah. These guys usually hit to fairways that are around 40 to 60 yards wide, and they only hit a couple of fairways when they're playing. So
Yeah. Right. Oh, that tee's not high enough. There we go. Right, so overswing. I don't even need to change anything really here. Just
You're going to try and increase it.
aye.
Consistent.
Yeah, I'll take that all day
Yeah.
long. I think that's probably my longest
Not bad
one
at
yet.
all, yeah. You can see on the shot tracer, definitely I'm missing right, but I would say are probably hitting most of these on most fairways. Right, so the next thing we're going to do, again, takes a lot of practice. Try it on the range. You genuinely could fall over if you get this one wrong. So this is kind of like a Bubba Watson move, but I've noticed some of the long drive guys also do it as well. So it's all about clearing that left side if you're a right-handed golfer, so we're going to be focusing on clearing the left side. Now, what you'll see, Bubba Watson obviously being a left-hander, he does this with his right leg. But at impact, he swings so hard that his left foot moves out the way. So Patrick Reed does this a little bit as well. And he's not typically a long hitter, but it helps him clear his left side. So that's the next thing we're going to do, is try and hit the ball and move the left foot out the way and see if we can open the body up a little bit and increase our club head speed. So again, I'm going to try this, sliding that foot just out the way a little bit.
Give it a smash.
Yeah.
Straightest one, yeah.
Straightest one I've hit.
And long.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Don't mind this at all.
round about my
Yeah.
distance. Good on you.
Yeah, for the folks at home, David usually outdrives me by about 15 yards maybe.
On a good day,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah. Oh, that was a good hit. So
Yeah.
this is probably what I struggle with most, is clearing, because I can get a bit stuck. So this will be tricky
It's a
for me.
dance move basically.
Aye. Oh, you shouldn't see my dancing. High tee. You better wait, try and sit. Okay. Oh, that's off
you
the
took
planet
that.
left.
Yeah.
It's just so different from what I'm
Yeah.
used to feeling. So
Tricky one.
works for you, not for me.
Yeah, I mean, what you'll find if you're clearing that left side, you maybe will end up swinging a little bit to the left, and that's probably what you've done there. So you just hit a bit of a snap hook. Right. Final thing we're going to talk about is how these guys use the ground. So if you want to hit the ball a long way, you've got to use the ground. You've got to load into the ground in the backswing and then push off the ground during the downswing. So what I mean by that is we're simply going to turn to the top and we're going to feel like our knees flex a little bit. And then into impact, we're going to push off the ground and straighten our legs. Again, I know this is something that you could do quite well. Maybe you struggle to keep the flex in your swing at times, but we're going to look at bending the knees on the way back, pushing off the ground on the way up. So let's give that a try.
Nice.
There we go. So almost don't be afraid to let that left foot almost come off the ground a little bit. You're almost going to jump up.
That's
a
the
little
longest one yet for you.
bit.
And if you're practicing this stuff, just do one at a time. Obviously,
Definitely, yeah.
don't chuck all 5 in at
These
once.
guys, all they do is focus on hitting the ball a long way. So they've got plenty of time to go through all these, grind them into their swing, but we're just looking to do one at a time. So that's
Yeah,
it.
that
Push it. Yeah, exactly.
push.
You're exploding off the ground. It gives you a bit more momentum. Good strike. Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
I think I would certainly take just the high tee thing on the range first off for me, because it just feels like an easy way, just getting free distance, higher launch, lower spin.
As we say, you wouldn't put all these things into play at once. It's just something to work on when you're on the range. And what you might find is you have a shot when you're out in the golf course that you can use to just give yourself an extra 10, 15 yards if you need it. Long par 4 or a par 5 you maybe want to have a go at. So give them a try. Let us know how you get on. If you've got any questions at all, just drop them in the comment section and me and David will get back to you as soon as we can. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We've got loads of great content coming this year and we want you guys to join us.